Hi, I wanted to talk to you today about some thoughts that have been on my mind for the last few days, really. In Exodus chapter 3 and in Joshua chapter 5, we see God encounter Moses and Joshua, and he says to them, "Take off your shoes, for where you are standing is holy ground." These two moments, these two men in two key moments of national transition, key moments of national salvation, and two key moments of national drama, where God is sending Moses to save the Israelites from occupation, and secondly where God is calling Joshua to lead them into victory against Jericho, to step into the promised land. And on both times God meets them and says, "Take off your shoes, for where you are standing is holy ground." And it's just stirring in me, like, what these two moments, and God says, "Take off your shoes," this symbol of surrender, I guess, this symbol of, okay, I'm going to be with God, and I'm going to be stripped down to the essence of who I am. It's just going to be me and God, and we're going to be real with each other. It seems like God met them in these moments of drama, in these moments of transition, in these moments of change, in these real moments when they needed God to show up. And God showed up, and God showed up one-on-one. And God showed up in those places with the challenges before them. And God showed up. And we have talked about this move of God that is amongst us, and is coming, and is growing, and is this crescendo of what God is up to. We have talked about the challenges of what is now, but that actually God is interwoven through this. This isn't something that has surprised God. God says that what he's doing is happening despite this, and even through this. And so I just wanted to encourage, I wanted to encourage you on a couple of fronts. Firstly, allow God to show up. I really want to pray this morning that our homes, the places where we find ourselves that might be unusual, that we're spending all day here, that we're in lockdown, the circumstances might be quite stressful or quite unusual or quite isolating or whatever it might be, but that your homes, the rooms you're in, will be holy ground, will be places where you meet God, where you encounter God, where God shows up and God says, "Take off your shoes," because where you're sitting, where you're standing, where you're resting is holy ground. So take off your shoes. And secondly, it resonates with me in a bit of a call to action. Someone sent in a picture a few weeks ago of somebody stood on a shore, and there's all of us maybe stood on a shore, and there's this wave coming, there's this tsunami coming, there's this tidal wave coming, and it's whatever it is that God's involved in, and this move of God is coming, and we can see it in the distance. And in this picture they said, "Take off your shoes," because I don't know if you remember, those of you who are old enough to remember, when Neil Kinnock was running for election, and there was that famous scene, and he was on the beach and the wave came and he ran backwards and he fell over as he ran backwards, and it did quite a lot of damage to his campaign because he wasn't ready, because actually he wanted to keep his shoes dry, because he wanted to not get caught out, because he wanted to keep himself separate from the wave that was coming. And I think sometimes maybe we present ourselves like that, because you see, if we're stood on the seashore and the waves coming, and we're dressed and we've got our shoes on and whatever, then we're going to step back. But if we've got our shoes off, if we're barefoot, if we're in our swimming costumes, if we're in our shorts or whatever it might be, then we'll step out. We'll step in to the water. We won't be thrown by this wave that's coming. We'll step into it and we'll embrace it. And I want us to be people who embrace what is coming, who step in, who step out, who don't pull back, who don't pull away, who don't shy away, who don't shrink back. I want us to be people who step out and who step in to what God is doing, who step into the miracles, who step into the supernatural, who step into the dramatic. I want us to be people who step in. In Hebrews 12 it says, throw off everything that hinders so we can run the race. And maybe we be people who throw off everything that hinders. Maybe we be people who take our shoes off. Maybe we be people who step in, who recognise that where we are is holy ground, and what God is doing is something God wants us to be involved in. And I don't know what stepping in looks like for you. It might be having the courage to stop and to listen. It might be having the courage to respond to that thing that God's been stirring in you, that you've been resisting. It might be stepping out and reaching out to those people in your neighbourhood who need reaching out. One of the things that I feel that God was talking to me about last night was, I feel like he's given me a route to walk for my daily exercise. And he said, I want you to walk this route. I want us to talk as you walk. I want you to pray as we walk. And I want us to see some miracles as you walk. I want you to pray in miracles on your route. So we're going to give it a go. And maybe that's what stepping in, stepping forward, not stepping back looks like for me. What does it look like for you?